All right, Chiefs-Bills. Wow, what a game. Chiefs 9-0, Bills 8-2. What's more likely? The Chiefs, who are underdogs, win by 2 scores, or the Bills win by 1 score? What's more likely?
Bills win by 1 score. I mean, this is the thing with this rivalry, right? Like the Bills win in the regular season, and then the Chiefs win in the postseason. So I fully expect, by hook or by crook, the Bills are going to win this game, right? It just makes sense. And yeah, I know like the Chiefs are undefeated. They've been making plays when they need to make plays. That's part of why they are a great team, because they figure out a way to win in those critical situations. But I mean, if not for Lamar Jackson doing what he's been doing, like Josh Allen, like low key having an MVP caliber season, he really is. And there were some throws last week. I don't think he had a touchdown pass. There was one where he was rolling to his right and he dumps it off to Mac Hollins all the way down the field. I mean, it's one of those plays that very, very few human beings on planet Earth can make. And when you see Josh Allen doing those kinds of things, you see him running the ball the way he runs it. I think that will give the Chiefs problems. And yeah, I think that Buffalo being at home, it's November. They're going to be up for this, obviously. I don't necessarily even want to know what those signs are going to look like when they're going up to Allen Park in Buffalo, because some of those Buffalo fans, man, they're aggressive. But I think the Bulls are going to win this one.
At least Tom Brady won't be in the building for any devices to be thrown on the field. Any inappropriate remarks will be confined to what's written on a sign, not what's written on said devices. Look, given the choices, and Pete does a nice job of creating a spot where we want to go middle, but we got to go one or the other, one extreme or the other. Because I think the Chiefs are going to win. I really do. And I don't want to tip my hand for the upcoming Picks podcast and give the Sasquatch a chance to get a look into what my thinking is for what games I'm going to pick. But between the two choices we're given, I think it is more likely the Bills win by 1 score than the Chiefs win by 2. I don't think anybody's winning this game by 2 scores. Nobody's blowing anybody out in this game. This is going to be back and forth, down to the wire. We see it all the time. And you're right. Look, and this isn't anything that's going to turn the page on the narrative for the Bills. They got to do it in the postseason. We've seen them do it in the regular season. It doesn't mean anything. What matters is January. So, by the way, Patrick Mahomes is 11-3 straight up when he's an underdog, and the Chiefs are 2-point underdogs in Buffalo. And this is only the 5th time since the merger in 1970 that 2 teams with 8 or more wins are meeting in Week 11 or earlier. So, high-stakes game, great records, number 1 seed on the line. What? Oh, that's the
last time it happened.
The last time it happened. Chiefs
2018.
Rams. Yes.
Yeah, I got a game ball for
right
it.
before Thanksgiving.
51. It was awesome.
The last game of Week 11. The game that many said was setting back football, defensive football for 50 years. And I don't know. We haven't seen a game like that
multiple
since then,
defensive touchdowns in that game. That's why it was
aberration.
So high scoring.
I know. All right. Next up, Bengals at the Chargers. Sunday Night Football flexed in for Colts-Jets. 4-6 Bengals, 6-3 Chargers. What is more likely? The Bengals score 20. Now, the Chargers haven't given up 20 points all year long. Or the Chargers score 30 or more. They haven't scored 30 in a game all year. So which trend breaks? And you can't say neither. Which one's more likely? Bengals score 20, Chargers score 30.
I'm going to go with Bengals scoring 20 because I think when you have, receivers like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins got back at practice yesterday, and that would be huge if they could have him, obviously, for this game. And the Bengals are a desperate team at this point, too. So I give a lot of credit to Jim Harbaugh for what he's done in just totally revitalizing that team. I mean, and this is the thing that Harbaugh does. We have seen it time and time again, basically everywhere he's gone, he starts winning, and it happens pretty quickly because he just understands ball. He's just a football dude, and it's great. And I love what he's doing over there, but I just feel like this week, the Bengals are a desperate team. They're going to break that streak that the Chargers have started the season with.
I agree with you, and there are certain moments where the desperation level, coupled with a team that isn't feeling desperate, the Chargers, I think, at this point, can autopilot their way to the 6th seed. the way it's playing out, and maybe they could end up the 5th seed. They're not going to win the division. They're going to make the playoffs. No. They've got some cushion between themselves and that cluster of teams that's competing for the 7th seed, even though a loss here counts as a game toward that Bengals rising, Chargers falling. The Chargers are still, they're at 6. They'd have to lose 6th seed and 7th seed. I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs even if they lose this game. The Bengals, if they lose this game, might be done. It feels like a playoff game. And what happens to Joe Burrow in the postseason? He takes on a higher level of performance. And he seems like the kind of guy who is going to take what happened on Thursday night against the Ravens and use it to access an even greater well of determination and ability and performance. So I agree. It's more likely that the Bengals score 20 or more. And I think I'm also tipping my hand to the Sasquatch on what I'm going to be doing by way of picking the Sunday night game. Seahawks-49ers, rematch of a game they played on a Thursday night earlier this year. Seahawks coming off of the bye at 4-5. 49ers won off the bye in Tampa Bay. They're 5-4. What's more likely? Geno Smith throws for more passing yards than Brock Purdy, or Purdy throws for more passing yards than Geno Smith?
Oh, this is I would say Geno Smith throws for more yards, in large part because that's kind of how they've moved the ball this year. And Christian McCaffrey in his second week back, I would think that McCaffrey will get a little bit going, a little bit better. I think he only had 39, 40 yards rushing-ish last week against Tampa Bay. I feel like, that second week back, he'll probably feel a little more like himself. They'll be able to do a couple more things in the passing game, the run game, which then takes the pressure off the passing game. And if you're the Seahawks, that's basically been your MO. So I'll go with Geno Smith on that one.
And Geno Smith currently leads the league with 284.4 passing yards per game. Purdy is second with 272.7. I'll go with Smith as well because that Purdy average is inflated by the fact that he's had to get it done without Christian McCaffrey. So having McCaffrey back in the run game will create less of an urgency. Maybe the 49ers will get out to a lead. The Seahawks start having to throw to try to come back. I could see Smith having significantly more passing yardage at the end of the day than Purdy, even though I think, as I tip my hand yet again to the Sasquatch, the 49ers will win. Falcons at the Broncos, 6-4 Atlanta, 5-5 Denver. Both had bad divisional losses last week for different reasons. The Falcons got outclassed by the Saints, who had just fired their coach and had lost 7 in a row. The Broncos lose on the field goal block for the ages. Who's more likely to have the hangover from week 10, Falcons or Broncos?
I'll go with Broncos, but I'm not confident in it. And I say it mostly because I'm thinking of quarterbacks, right? Okay, you got veteran quarterback in Kirk Cousins who understands how to bring the team back after a loss like that versus rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. And I think Bo Nix has done a nice job of getting better throughout the season. Like that throw he had to Cortland Sutton that basically should have won the game on third down last week, if not for the blocked field goal. Like that's one thing where you can say, okay, look, he is making strides. He is progressing, but it's still a rookie quarterback. So based on that alone, I will say the Falcons are less likely to have the hangover. The Broncos are more likely.
I would agree with that in concept, but this is one of those organic, authentic moments that just kind of falls into their laps. The way the Broncos have rallied around Alex Forsythe, who was the guy who got blown up, on the field goal block, the guy who was light on his toes, as Leo Chanel told me after the game. He noticed it during the game. He didn't notice it from film. Well, there's a clip out there going around of a mashup of all the times that Forsythe has been knocked on his ass on field goal and extra point attempts. So the film was out there. You didn't need to figure it out during the game. And Bo Nix had a very, I think, convincing and heartfelt defense of Forsythe yesterday. They were teammates for 1 year at Oregon. I just think that the Broncos kind of taken this personally. The coaching staff has taken ownership of the moment. Maybe Forsythe shouldn't have even been out there in that setting. I just feel like they're not, oh, woe is us. They're trying to prop each other up and find a way to build. I think that the Falcons are more likely to have the hangover because the Falcons have proven to us now that even though we've seen flashes from them, there's just something missing. And last week's loss tells me it's not going away anytime soon. All right, Myles is going away now. Not because I want him to, because the document says it's time to say farewell, because we have Jason Garrett coming up, the other half of the Myles Garrett combination not featuring Myles Garrett. Myles, enjoy the game tonight, and we'll be checking out your posts at PFT. Goodbye. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.